Well, welcome, you bunch of sloppy sausages. It's me, your old friend Big Harv here, back once again, but I'm not just hanging out here by myself. That's right, y'all have seen it on Instagram all week. You've seen us posting on the socials. We're here with a very special guest gag. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this here, but y'all, please help me and join me in welcoming our first guest back, straight up for the first episode back of the Root Canal Records routine checkup. Everybody, give it up for our homies in Bongo, gosh dang, Goldman! Fellers?
Big Harv.
What's going on, Harv?
Hey, Harv.
Hey, and this right here is the Root Canal Records Review Roundup. Let's go, baby!
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. We are very excited to be here.
And that's right, y'all. We're here. Sorry, I didn't be a good host to mention that the theme song was playing at the same time because I'm never coordinated. But yes, that was the Root Canal Records review round. Don't worry about the Slab Era podcast. It's almost like I forgot to switch the graphic, but that's okay. Song written right there by our producer, musical creative producer right there, Ride Dog DeMarco, and the art by the always incomparable Ramadoodle's art, also known as Omar Field Ramen. Everybody, thank you. Thank you, Bongo Goldman. Y'all are here right now with us today. These are our good friends, hot off the release, hot. Off the new release of their brand new EP. After all, why shouldn't I? Welcome to the show, y'all.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, very happy to be here. Thanks so much, Harv.
Yeah, very excited. Appreciated.
Hell,
do this.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, before we get into that, y'all, real quick, just wanted to give you a little bit of update on the Kick and V stuff. Remember, we're here like we are on every show, every stream, doing what we can, trying to help people out by promoting people we love, hanging out with people we love, and doing creative shit. And speaking of people we love, if you don't notice, down right beneath our faces, our wonderful faces right here, you can see that there's a donate tab that goes directly to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Remember, every single stream, we try and donate what we can if you got the dollars. If you don't, hey, word of mouth helps too. It's a huge thing. They're the real heroes over there. They're doing the work and making it so families affected by childhood cancer do not have to pay a single cent, whether that's for medicine, transportation, food, procedures, everything that goes in to taking care of a sick child. So if you got the money, please help them out there. They are the heroes, as we mentioned, and we like to have them on every stream if we can. Secondly, hey, if you want to help out Kickin' Teeth, the best thing you can do right now to support us is give us a follow over on Twitch, over on the social platforms, sub if you can, and remember, if you got Slamazon Slime, that means you get a free Twitch Prime sub to donate to, your favorite Twitch hosts. I'm not going to say anybody in particular, and not going to say that helps us unlock any more streams like the Return of the King stream, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge stream, where we all sit down with green face paint and do some just crazy shit. But we'll get to that later. That's not the point. We're back here on the podcast with the legends themselves, Bongo Goldman. We're here to talk about many things. But first, y'all, I just want to ask you a question. Where in the heck did you get the name from, and how did it come together?
Well, it's a bit of a long and rounded story.
That's what we're here for.
This is Nolan's brainchild, so I'll let him.
Well, without getting into too much detail or specifics, Bongo Goldman was essentially the name of an actor that played a character in a skit that we kind of came up. It was my brainchild, but we all added together. So in a way, he's kind of like nobody, but he's also whoever you want him to be.
So almost like it's essentially like a meta superhero that exists just within this old Bongo Goldman original universe, you'd say.
A fictional actor who plays a fictional character.
Yes. Yep. Fictional actor that plays a fictional character in a skit that never happened.
That Nolan came up with in a Long John Silver parking lot on a lunch break one day.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. So somehow we ended up here.
I mean, what else you gonna do in a I almost said Longo, Goldman, Long John's Fisherman there. So that's fucking great. Good hosting, Harv. Really, really proper there. No, I mean that's incredible. It's original as hell, and fucking one. I'm happy to hear it came together. So, after some Long John Silver's, delirium. So fucking incredible. Yeah. So y'all, the album EP just came out in December. I want to ask y'all real quick, just casually, from all of y'all's different experience, how has the reception been so far, just across the board?
Way, way more voluminous, I guess, to use a really big word there.
Hell yeah.
I think I don't know. I think we did this because we've been sitting on the songs for a while. We felt comfortable with them. We've been playing them live. So let's publish them. Let's put them out there. Let's put ourselves out there. After so many years of just screwing around in the garages and basements that have been our writing spaces. But to share it with our friends and family and then be like, oh, awesome. And then see it take another step and you probably know, Harv, looking at your metrics isn't always super healthy, but to look at those, oh, where are people tuning in, to see having a couple listeners here, a couple listeners there, 2 listeners in the UK is oh, ooh, international.
Oh, they're exotic boys now. No, that's 100% a very real. It's super validating, especially just starting then to see it grow and already. I mean, December fucking last month, to see just how much traction I've seen on our end, not even talking about your metrics. It's been incredible to watch it happen on y'all. So to hear that it's already having that much growth, fucking incredible. Go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. No, I don't know if you're about to, yeah.
No, I agree. And it's really wild for the first time. And you probably know, Harv, too, that when you get your music out to any platform and then you look at it and you're like, wow, I'm here. My music is on Spotify. My music is on Apple Music and all the various platforms, or my music's on this physical CD that has art that I made or from my friends. So it's definitely surreal at a point, and you're and it feels good too, because as Matt said, some of these songs are old. I think the oldest one is probably 11 years old. We wrote it back in 2012, 2013. So to have it out there and finished and polished was really awesome.
Yeah. Now, kind of y'all led me directly to my next point. That's why I love y'all as guests, because you're so fucking professional. You can see the future and know what I'm going to ask next. But, talking, just from Matt's point there about, from all the various basement shows you play, just everything you've done, talking about songs that, have been 13 years in the work. I really want to know, how did y'all meet? I know there's backstory here. It sounds like there's more history and just best frienditude, which is the best way to start a band in the first place, right? But what was not even just the initial meet? How did y'all come together?
Who wants to take that one?
Why don't you go for it?
Well, are we talking about the origin of our friendships or the origin of the band?
You know what? I prefer both. Let's start with the friendships, because I think that's the health.
Okay, so let's get a little bit deep.
Yeah.
So childhood friends, and actually originally a childhood rivalry. So Levi and I were nerd kids. And at all of the little kid nerd trivia things hosted at the local library, he was always beating me at all of those.
Fucking incredible.
And so it was he was my anime chase rival.
Matt was good, but I was on another level, unfortunately, at that point in time.
But yeah, literally childhood friends. We all went to elementary, middle, and high school together. Levi was 1 year ahead of us. And in high school, the cool thing for everyone who listened to rock music, alt music, scene music, the screamo, metal, hardcore, whatever, was to also try and start a band yourself.
Of course.
So, like, we put together whoever played whatever instruments and whoever wanted to do what. We've all changed roles over time.
Well, I haven't, but
Except for Levi.
Yeah.
Levi's been a virtuoso the whole time.
no.
But like the only reason that I play the drums is because we needed a drummer. And we wanted to just like keep playing music because it's a fun thing to do. Like hang out with each other, capture some of that magic that came through the Skull Candy headphones in the back of a long, bus all those years ago.
Yeah. I mean, like you said it right there perfectly before too. I mean, you encapsulated like what also helps start a kicking teeth and all that stuff. We, now just classify that as Warped Tour core, as we call it. Fucking the Skull Candy headphones. I mean, fucking fantastic. Great headphones that just seem to, cost way too much money and break at every opportunity available.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's like honestly, so like that's one of my favorite things to hear. You meet a lot of people that just get together and start a band for, trying to get big or, like they got just huge egos and stuff like that. So like I always love hearing when it's, this natural kind of grown thing through friendship and, the love of like, oh man, like why the fuck wouldn't we do this? It makes us all happy and we get to hang out together, and doing it with your best friends is just the coolest thing. Happy to hear also that y'all started as rivals. Hopefully one day we'll be able to, bring Papa Levi's big ego down a little bit. It's impossible, I know, but
It's the spelling bees.
Yeah.
You're the spelling bee champion year after year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. You can't go any higher after you win a Harry Potter trivia contest at the community hall.
Yeah. I mean,
Levi's he's always been a champion.
Yeah.
I peaked in 4th grade. I don't know if you knew that.
If it makes you feel any better, don't worry. I peaked in kindergarten because I literally came out looking like this, and I haven't grown in any way since. It was with the beard, so don't worry about it. You're good. It's a safe space for everybody. But no, yeah, that's just incredible to hear. I'm ready for the next concept album, just about Levi's ego and really taking down a king. It's going to be interesting. But speaking of next album, we're not even there yet. Let's talk about this album real quick. Let's move that over. Let's talk about the origin of this band specifically. I want to know how Bongo came together. I know we talked a little bit about the friendship, past bands and stuff, but when did you all decide to be Bongo Goldman? When did that officially come into play?
Well, the name was actually relatively recent. We really kind of started out as a trio together as a band called Defiant Method, and that was mostly in my dad's garage, just playing and whatnot. We had a couple other band members here and there. We had I think we had 5 at one point, and went down to 4, and then then it came down to 3, and I was originally just the front man for the whole thing. I didn't do anything else, and then we parted ways with a bassist, and we're like, should we find another bassist? And I think we all kind of looked at each other, and then I just like picked up like some first act bass or something, and I was like, well, I'm gonna play and sing, I guess. So I mean, that's kind of the start for us 3.
For sure.
Definitely, big garage vibes and stuff.
The best place. I mean,
yeah. And I also want to like double down on that for anybody who is watching, and like anybody who's watching who might be on the younger side, who might be into music, who might want to make music. Like, it's like all of the big celebrities say, just grab whatever gear you can find and start doing it. Because like I said, I picked up the drums because we needed a drummer. Nolan picked up a bass because we needed a low end. Like, just do it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're touching on that point. Really, it's always funny, like when I meet bands that like, not only consist of like core friends or best friends, but it's always there's one person that just like, I don't know anything about the drums. I'm just going to learn rudiments and paradiddles and really just like blow my mind just for the sake of doing this thing with my friends. So incredible to hear that. But what was more incredible was to hear the new album and the new EP. So I want to get into that a little bit. I want to dig a little bit deeper right now and just talk about it. After All, Why Shouldn't I? Released December 8th, 2023. Nice little holiday album, a little holiday treat for us all at home, a little bit of gift there. I want to talk about the recording process. Just start there. What was it like for y'all? How'd it go? Where'd you do it?
We went to the recording company in Esperance, technically?
Esperance, Dwaynesburg.
Yeah, Esperance, Dwaynesburg. Tim, who is the recording company, is a great guy. Actually, was referred by other friends. Great guy to work with. We clicked with him instantly. We brought a couple of demos because we were sitting there sort of like, we're all old. We all have jobs. Like, we should spend some money, spend some time to put these on a track, like to put them into a recording, have someone do it professionally and just put it out there and get out there. So yeah, working with Tim at the recording company, like I feel like we clicked instantly. And we threw demos at him and we just sort of developed from there. It's really raw, really simple stuff, just guitars, bass, drums, vocals. It was fun. I mean, my personal experience, I came in super prepared. I was perfect. It was like 3 takes each.
You might
He did
say,
kill it, so.
yeah, you might say, you might be, Levi. Listen, you had to come back at Levi for the spelling bees. His ego has to be taken down, so you might as well just fucking do a 3 take, get in, get out. Just sit there, fucking smoke a fat cigar at the end of it, and watch them struggle with their strings and all that, and
Yeah.
So
ooh, look at your theory, your chords. I'm gonna sit back for like the next 20 hours of studio time and drink like these delicious seltzer wine.
That really was it too, because Matt did get down the drums in one session.
Yeah,
it was done. He did like 3 or 4 takes of each song, and and it was done. So he really plowed through that. It was interesting for me though, because I had never been in a studio setting ever. So it was a little frightening for me to have everything under a magnifying glass.
100%.
Like I had a couple takes where I would listen back to the vocals and have a heart attack, be like, oh my gosh, like, is that really what I sound like? And but I think most artists are their own harshest critic, but overall very happy with how everything came out. And yeah, as Matt said, Tim's a great dude. Couldn't recommend him enough, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. He works with a ton of people. Yeah, it was a very interesting process. So big shout out to Tim at the recording company.
Yeah, I think he recorded one of Ryan's bands too. So
Oh, well,
As
that's
we
how
age, right?
I found out. Yeah.
don't add that as credibility to anybody, because when you have Ride Dog or anything, it gets messy, it gets dirty. It just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Y'all have seen the podcast with his murder basement. Just be okay. No, but really, Nolan, I totally feel you on that end too. I mean, the first time I think for anybody going into a studio, it's overwhelming as hell. But also to have everything that you're doing monitored in that way. My fucking TV is being weird. I'm gonna turn that off real quick. Being monitored, hearing yourself back every fucking 5 seconds. I same thing, throwing the cans and be like, oh my god, that's what I actually sound like. It's definitely a time. So, but I'm glad to hear that throughout it, one, Tim helps you guys get comfortable, but then you also started to feel more comfortable doing it. It's glad to hear. And it definitely shows in the songs and the album itself. Papa Levi, on your end, how was the recording session for you?
I think it was pretty straightforward. Tim had me record some dry tracks using an amp modeler just to kind of rough it out.
Yeah.
And then he reamped it through amps at a later session. So I didn't have to play it too much after the initial recording. So
a
lot of tweaking to try to get the sound right, but that was about it.
For sure. Now, I mean, we're talking about everybody's recording process here and how it was going. We got one take Matt, and he's special. And there's no flaws here. He clearly didn't have any difficulty. But I want to talk about what was the most difficult song. And you can go either as a band, or you can go by every one of you. We can go sound off across the board. What was the most difficult song in your opinion to record? Either Nolan with vocals and the bass. Just everybody. So we can start with you, Nolan.
Yeah, in my opinion, actually, funny enough, I haven't thought too much about this since it was released, but I would say probably the most difficult one actually would have been Punk Ballad for me, even though it's our oldest song. Just because, I don't have any real professional training or theory training. So as we were going through it with Tim, he pointed out, not like forcing anything on us, but he pointed out how some of my vocal notes could be corrected to match a little bit better within the other instruments in the mix of the song. So I had to go back and record some things,
Totally.
re-record them, obviously, and change them a little bit, and it has transferred over a little bit to our live practices and shows and stuff, and I kind of think about it a little more. So I think that one for me was probably the most difficult.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like, and Punk Ballad too, like, does have like, just from listening to the album myself and stuff like that, and the EP going back and forth, it does have some of the trickier instrumentals you have to work around for vocals. There's like a lot of range in that song too. So it's always like I'm the same way. Like back when I used to sing and stuff. For sure, can definitely vibe there. I'm like the hot little tomato, clearly, because it's just how it goes. But no, like, oh man, getting criticism on any, even helpful criticism, right, on any vocals, I'm just sitting there like, Harv, what the fuck are you doing? You're better than this, man. And just fucking causing rackets in the other room, destroying my Resco Hero and Bionicle action figures, just getting real pissed about it, because
Not the Bionicles, no.
the thing is, listen, those are the things that keep me sane during the process. So no, but real talk, I mean, yeah, I'm happy to hear that eventually you're one of those people that can take the criticism and actually use it, progressively productively, because a lot of people don't. So that's fucking incredible to hear. Next up, Mr. One Take Matt. Now I know, again, there's no difficulty for you in anything here, but what is the trickiest song, at least recording wise, on the drum angle for you there?
I think so similar to Nolan, I am entirely self-taught. So I think there were a couple takes where my fundamentals were a little bit on the rough end of movements. Because I do a couple of some of my footwork is different than other songs. I tried to rely less on the double pedal for certain types of licks. So I feel like movements gave me some of the most fits. I also think I practiced a lot leading up to the recording with metronome, click track, just to make sure I was staying on. And I felt really, really good. But when it comes to breakdowns, I'm thinking about okay, I'm counting in halves, or I'm counting, or I'm trying to work with threes here, this and that. And then I'll get we'll finish the take and I get Tim in my ear who's like, yeah, your breakdown, you got totally off the click. Just try and focus on the click. And I'm like,
The most aggravating thing of all time. I am the same way. I'm not listen, using more than two of my limbs to do anything in a band. Oh my God. No, you're like fucking science to me. I can't. It's way too profound for me. But yeah, the click track is something that I think everybody for the most part has to get used to. And for me, too, it throws me off all the time, even with vocals and stuff too, man. It's rough. So, and I mean, listen, even dude, California Lovin', that breakdown has a little bit of that off time kind of, a little dancey kind of almost like salsa-y fucking beat kind of breakdown. So yeah, like cheers to y'all. I just want you to know that like it fucking shows like how fucking hard you worked through there and like got through the click shit. So yeah, the drumming is fantastic and you should be proud of yourself there. Just want you to know that there. Last but not least, Papa Levi, the conceited king as they call him. What was the most difficult song to play or record on the album for you?
It's tough to say. I want to say movements. I did struggle with the click for a lot of the songs, but with movements, that end part that slows down, my issue is, well, one, I don't practice with the click as much as I should, but like every time we practice it, I play it a little bit different because I'm just kind of jamming.
Yeah.
And like even now, I still look and listen to it, and like the song sounds great, but I still see things that I might have done a little different. So it's just that it's me being my own worst enemy, as said by that one band. So
yeah, Stained, I believe.
Yeah.
No, is like Saliva, I something like that.
One of those, yeah.
Trapped,
yeah.
Anyway.
No, but I feel like it's the same. It's the same thing. Like you and I really just jam.
Yeah. I would say so.
Like he just like sort of riffs. Like it's never gonna be unless we like actually start to like play out like every weekend or like do a tour or something. The outro to that song is never gonna be the same thing twice live. I think.
Which is
just because we just play in the groove. We sit in it and we play what feels good, what sounds good.
Well,
to the general structure, of course. So
yeah, and there's that. I think like just to touch on a couple points y'all made there. One, anytime you record something, you're always gonna go back, like Levi's saying, you're your own worst enemy. You're always gonna go back and be like, oh, I could have added this. This could have been a little different here. But then to your point, like, listen, there's so many bands out there that, rehearse the same set to death, and then live, it really shows to the point where, there's a point of practicing the set to the point, where you have it down, you're all comfortable with it. But the reason you want to do that, and the reason any band should be out there doing that, is so you can fuck around and have fun with your own music, change it up live, and half the time the audience isn't going to know, but, the real fans are. And that just adds, like, just so much more color to the set itself and fun. Like, that's why we're all doing it in the first place. So I'm glad to hear that y'all are in that kind of stage where it's not like you being too critical of yourself. It's realizing like, oh, we created this thing and it's our own animal that we can kind of tame and just experiment with. So that's really sick to hear. So I guess on that end, what was your favorite song to record?
Well, if we're gonna start with me, I mean, honestly, you know what? It's definitely a toss up between Excalibur and California Lovin', but I think California Lovin' ekes out a little bit on top.
Okay.
I mean that thing, the whole song, it's a groove for the entire song. As you said, even the breakdown is groovy.
That shit doesn't stop. I just wanted to say that doesn't stop moving, dude. Like, just real cheers to all y'all, because that, like, I'm not saying I have a favorite on the album or anything like that, but yeah. Go on. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, and to your point, it just grooves. And every part does, the bass, the guitar, the drums, the vocals. It's all just like one big stream of consciousness from beginning to end. Had a ton of fun writing it. Definitely developed a lot over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that one's probably,
I think that's the most recent one we made.
Yeah.
Was it that, or was that Excalibur?
Excalibur is like the most recent one we made. And when we say most recent, we wrote it in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They've changed a lot since then, so.
Yeah.
But I think California Lovin', at least its DNA came from like a little bit before that, at least a year or two before that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's California Lovin'. It's like, I think we were sort of at the peak of our silly, goofy guy energy, just like letting stuff rip. And then we were like, oh, wait, we have something here. Like, let's just tie it together. It was like, I remember like, I remember it so clearly. Levi just messing around with ska riffs. I was like learning that four to the floor shuffle, that like, that like boots and cats, like,
Yep.
and then Nolan was coming in with just the absolute goofiest stuff. And all of a sudden it was like, well, what if we have like that big pop punk chorus? Okay, cool. What if there was also a breakdown?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
doing this almost like dance hall,
Surf rock.
ska, pop punk animal that, yeah, I don't have favorite children, but that one may be a little bit.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
one. Oh, go ahead, Levi. Yeah.
Oh no, I have to say that is my favorite as well. So
Well,
Yeah.
listen, I mean, as a lot of us have siblings here, and I'm just gonna say, sometimes, when they give it an extra gift, the better gift on the holidays, sometimes it's just what happens, you got to show a little bit of love to the favorites, I'm not gonna say that anybody in my family is, the particular favorite, but anyway, no, that's great to hear. Yeah, and just like, because y'all are kind of mentioning it too, like California Lovin'. I think it ties the entire energy of like what Bongo Goldman does together, and it's a great way to end the album off because it brings in the variety, like y'all are saying, of genres and influences y'all have, and really it's like just the perfect kind of crescendo of everything, and really displays all your talent and just like how fluid you guys can be. And just kind of like speaking of your different influences, we'll go left to right again, starting with Nolan. What were your top influences as far as artists, for this album?
Yeah, so I mean, as we said, these songs are a bit older. So definitely back then I was listening to a lot of Blink. A Day to Remember came in, obviously. I mean, who didn't it come in for at some point in these type of scene?
We wouldn't have the
Um,
scene without it, I mean, literally,
exactly.
who didn't want to be A Day to Remember at one point? We were all there like, oh man, I'm going to be like Jeremy. And like, I fucking remember.
Guilty,
Yeah,
guilty,
right?
God.
Yeah. Definitely that. Yeah, Sum 41, and then kind of reflected, I think, a bit in movements were bands like Mineral, Sunny Day Real Estate, Early Jimmy Eat World.
I can hear that. Yeah.
Maybe Balance and Composure.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that was for me. Those were kind of the smattering of influences.
Totally. Matt, you're up next.
I'm like I consume music like a mythical unicorn. I'm like constantly changing faces and shapes. So for me, what influenced the drumming and the writing from my perspective is the progression of learning that I did. Is I literally just was like, what are songs that I can play that I like? So there are a couple of bands that I'm don't listen to anymore, and I wouldn't say that I was proud to listen to them now that influenced it. I used to worship the ground that Alex Shellnut of A Day to Remember walked on. So like that was a big influence in the early years. But then like growing and evolving into early on too was like City and Color. Some of those like folky, groovy things influenced early, really, really moody, like late teens, early 20s guy. Really just that sort of stuff.
For sure.
Moving into, again, like Nolan said, a lot of the like shoegaze, emo stuff that influenced the way that I played. Because a lot of the other stuff that I liked listening to was like, sure, I like listening to it, but I don't see myself playing that. But this, I can play this.
That's honestly, I really dig that, and like it's because you're not coming in playing favorites, you're coming in literally, progressing, like as you're saying, progressing as you progress, and it's like very cool to see. And again, kind of what I was saying earlier, like y'all do such a great job of, you know, being fluid and being kind of open to your different influences, showing it on the album. So it's cool to hear that, especially, you know, coming from the drum perspective, you know, which really does kind of, you know, that's the whole foundation of the band. And yeah, it just shows. So yeah, Papa Levi.
Well, you know, I'm big on Bayside, Sum 41, Silverstein, Balance and Composure. I used to be really into Day to Remember. Kind of fell off on them, but it happens. So
I think we've all maybe a little in some ways, you know. I'm not saying it's because they're from Florida or anything like that, but anyway, you know, we can, you know.
Or you're strong, you know. So
yeah.
Just kind of played what I like to play, and it all kind of folded out of that. So
for sure. And on that note, do we have any, so, you know, we'll talk about, you know, upcoming shows and stuff like that later on the show, a little towards the end of this podcast and everything. But as far as, you know, talking about your influence and stuff like that, you know, I hear Blink, I hear Silverstein, I hear a lot of that in there, with the highest compliments in the best way possible. But are there any dream bands y'all would want to tour with? Like if Bongo could get on just one of these huge fests, any of these, you know, your Warped Tour comes back, you know, listen, I'm not gatekeeping, I'm not being that dude, not the new fucking Warped Tour, the Vegas show, I'm talking the original shit. Who would y'all, or the AP tour, we're taking y'all back, you know, 2010.
Yeah.
Who would you want to play with the most?
So I mean, if we were talking like that, you know, kind of vein, that kind of scene, the Warped Tour scene anyway. I mean, there's definitely other bands that I consume daily that I would really like to tour with, but they're really not like us. You know, we're very different genre-wise. But if we were talking like Warped Tour people, like, you know, I mean, Attack would have been pretty cool.
Oh,
I think,
yeah?
to jam with. You know, especially around Someday Came Suddenly, that would have been pretty sick. Man, who else would have been on there?
It doesn't have to be Warped Tour specifically. Like, just it can be just dream bands. Like, you know, you could even say,
well, I mean, I guess if we're going dream bands, then like, you know, I'm really, really into Sleep Token.
Oh,
So like, that would be so cool to tour with them. Although we probably wouldn't ever see them or see who they really are, but like, that's one of them. I think a tour with anything that Les Claypool does would be hilarious and really funky.
yeah.
Pretty big fan of his. And then like, you know, I mean, I could do this all day talking about bands I want to tour with, but also would have loved to tour with Rush, big Rush guy. So
Yeah. Hey, pour one out,
those
right?
would be like top three I can think of right now.
Yeah.
I feel like the dream and like a realistic billing, I mean, not anymore, but like the dream for like a real, true, realistic billing would be Yellow Card. I feel like a Yellow Card, Bongo Goldman, Take on America tour would go off.
With Yellow Card opening, of course. You know, that's how I, you know.
Yeah, sure.
That's how I would.
Let's be very clear about that. It's who the headliner is.
And of course their violinist would come on and do an improv during California Lovin'.
Oh yeah.
I mean, listen, the chance to like, that's one of my favorite things ever, seeing bands come on and just like, you know, when you have a tour, seeing another member of a band come on, improv over some shit, jam over your shit, other material. It's like the coolest shit every time. That one of my favorite things, back when I was like more involved with that scene as well, was August Burns Red used to have Adam Gray from Texas in July come out and drum at the same time.
Yes.
Fucking incredible shit.
God, yeah. Those are like, those sit in my like favorited playlists on YouTube. Like, yeah. Or like just recently, what Knocked Loose just had Courtney LaPlante come on, and that shit ripped. Like,
which, I mean, speaking of Knocked, we just talk about bands that have blown up just, you know, immensely. Fucking Knocked Loose playing these little, yeah, the dog band.
Coachella.
That's
ridiculous.
It's incredible. Papa Levi. dream bands. It can be realistic, it cannot be. It's just who sings to you right here. Who do you want to be like, waiting in the wings, about to open up for them, sweating, nervous to even talk to them or use the same bathroom as them. It's just,
I could go with Sum 41 or as we've been compared to Weezer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I didn't even think about the Weezer influence, but now I can hear it. Now that you bring it up.
I guess it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. So Tim, when we were working with Tim, he used to I don't know if he was messing with us or like it was partially maybe messing with us, but he would like just throw bands out there. It'd be like, oh, this really gives me like Weezer right now.
Yeah.
It would be like, okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
The reason why we get along with Tim so well is because he's like us, slightly unhinged.
I mean,
Slightly.
that's what you want in the studio. Obviously you want like somebody doing a recording technician and, an audio tech doing their job and taking it seriously, right? But if you can't fuck around and laugh in the studio where you're all in this pressure cooker and shit like that, or someone who can't be like, y'all remind me a lot of Celine Dion or, Wham,
Yeah,
you have to laugh.
And you know what? That was a good point there. That it is kind of like a pressure cooker. If we didn't have that time to laugh, stuff would have blown up.
Yeah, especially like you're already like, like you're saying in that hypercritical. And it's not like you're not mad at each other ever or anything like that. You're so hypercritical of yourself, and you just want the product to come out fantastically and the album to come out just swimmingly. So, yeah, laughter is the key. And like the whole reason y'all started in the first place, friends that just wanted to fucking have fun and live the dream, right? So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that you have somebody, and then like for the future too and stuff like that, that makes y'all feel that comfortable and able to really make your art the best thing it can be. So that's incredible.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of building off that point. I mean, we talked about like the hardest songs you guys recorded, the most difficult your studio experience. Do y'all have anything in the works coming up? Y'all working on anything? You don't have to talk about or leak anything or spoil anything, but anything, we can, music wise, recording wise, we can look forward to.
Jesse, somebody cooked here. Yeah, we actually, speaking of, a band that I would piss my entire pants to open up for, Enter Shikari.
Oh,
Something that they are known for is just like having little bits and pieces of ideas that they'll sit on for years at a time, and then suddenly it like comes up in the next new album. But we did that. We went through all of our old, like in the garage, all of those demo recordings in our basement, all those demo recordings, riff ideas that Levi was playing maybe with just him and Nolan, with other people. Nolan, his old busted ass iPad, with all of his ideas and stuff. We sat down and we started to like filter through, and we picked out, I think, 4 things that we really liked and one idea that didn't make it on After All, Why Shouldn't I, that we need to kind of tie up, restructure, do whatever. So yeah, the chef is in the kitchen. We are ready to cook.
all right. That is exactly what I want to hear. I'm excited for the future of Bongo Goldman there on the recorded music side. Now let's talk about the live side. Let's, get into that. Y'all have been saying you were born in basements, garagecore, really coming from there. I've seen footy from some of the shows you all have played getting together. What is your favorite song to play live? And we'll go, let's switch it up. Yeah, y'all got way too comfortable. I know, listen, we got, the virtuoso spelling bee man. We got, the one take drum here. But let's mix it up because y'all are getting too comfortable and professional for me. Papa Levi, what is your favorite song to play in a live set?
It is tough, but I think Movements.
Okay. Why is that?
Probably be my favorite to play.
Yeah, is there a reason why?
It's just really fun to play on guitar.
Okay.
And to kind of jam at the end. So
yeah. Oh, that jam goes in at the end as well. Like, oh man. Matt.
It's a toss up for me, and this is gonna come as a surprise to maybe drummers and non-drummers alike, but it's a toss up between Excalibur and California 11. Just because they have so much energy, and that energy allows me to emote. And I think that's a really fun part of drum performance is when you can kind of like look back there and see the drummer just going for it.
Yeah.
And those songs like just let me do that.
So you're just like flailing. You got the octopus arms going on. I mean, you're talking about
Oh yeah,
Enter Shikari,
the
you know,
lean
Rob
in,
Wolf kind of.
like the sit up posture, like looking around. Yeah, the whole deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Nolan.
Yeah. So again, toss up for me as well between Excalibur and California 11. Both high energy songs, a lot of fun to play and sing. I would say most days, practice and just at a show. Excalibur ekes it out most times for me. I just really like the big pause in the middle of it, and I come in with the vocals, and then it hits on a certain word that I say. Everyone comes in together at that, and it's a lot of energy in that moment, and just kind of comes through like a wrecking ball. So that's yeah, I would say Excalibur overall.
For sure. And like I'm with y'all that I think like, you know, between Excalibur and California 11, those definitely are like the more fast paced kind of, you know, energetic songs of that. But don't sell yourselves short because Punk Ballad and Movements both have that, like Levi mentioned earlier a little bit, like way back, some of that balance and composure, just like solid slam, you know, it's like the riffage is nice and heavy. It just, oh man, what a fucking gem of an EP. I mean, y'all just really thank you for goddamn writing it. I'm really excited to hear about, you know, the upgrade. I know there's stuff cooking right now on that end, as you're saying. I'm excited to hear what's coming next out of the, you know, that side. But let's talk about shows. We're there right now, getting towards the hour mark. I heard, you know, I might have seen something somewhere. I don't know, maybe on, I don't know, maybe the old IG there. Let's just pull it up for everybody watching at home real quick. Where was that? Y'all, you're on a dang Keep Flying and Don't Panic show playing at fucking Empire Live, one of the biggest venues over in Albany. Let's gosh dang get into it and talk about it. Lads, tell me how it came together, and can you just tell me about the dang hype?
I guess like so leading up to this whole release was us just wanting to get the songs on track, get it out there, share it and see what happens. Hopefully people enjoy it. If anything else, it's there. And like Nolan said right at the beginning, we can go onto Spotify and be like, yeah, that like we did that. And so we did that, and we also like have been playing some open mics recently, and playing live is just so much fun and brings out the energy. You get to go places, meet new and interesting people, all of that. So we having a published product on the internet reached out to all sorts of like local venues and things saying like, hey, this is who we are. We're local. We'd like to come in, hit up one of your open mics. If you've got an open slot somewhere, let us know. Or if your booking person is out there, this is who we are, for future reference. And one of the places, where was it, Levi?
The Fuse Box.
The Fuse Box said that they would keep us in mind. Little did we know that they would also start handing us around to other people. So, a promoter who works very closely with Empire Underground just messaged us on Instagram one day and was like, hey, I got a show I think you guys would be great on. What's a good phone number that I can like text you at? And I was like, wait, Empire Underground, like Empire Live, Empire Underground. So we followed up, and he was like, yeah, I got this, we got this show, and we were sort of sitting on our hands on it for a while because nothing was confirmed. And he was communicating primarily with Levi. And then all of the sudden we get tagged on a post by an account I had not seen or we hadn't followed previously. It's us on a poster for Keep Flying, and I'm just like super excited to play with all those guys because we talked about the formative years. That was a group of bands that we were all, like their projects, and those guys are all people that we've been listening to for a while. So yeah, super stoked that just sort of like.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying. Oh, go ahead, Nolan. Yeah.
No. You
Oh,
go ahead. I got one in the chamber.
Yeah, no, hey, perfect. That's the fucking listen. Everybody watching at home, these are the type I guess that I like to have on the show: professionalism. But no, seriously, I mean that is such a wholesome thing, and like, what a damn cool moment. Hey. Before I go in, we got a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital from Tragus Piercing. So just real quick, cheers to you. Thank you, Tragus Piercing. It means the dang world, and it means the world over to the families there affected by childhood cancer. So yeah, cheers to you. Thank you so much.
Huge drops.
Yeah. But back to, speaking of wholesome, full-hearted shit, it really had to be incredible, like you're saying. It's that wonderful moment, especially, with it just hot off a fucking new EP, that you're playing one of the biggest venues in the city of Albany, where half of the bands, you're playing on a bill with bands that you looked up to, but countless bands that you have looked up to, huge names in our scene specifically, have played. Aside from just being added to the bill, to play on that physical stage, how are y'all feeling? Are you getting like the pre-show nerves? You getting the pre-show poops? Do you guys get nervous before the shows themselves? How are y'all each like starting with you, Nolan? How are y'all when it comes to playing live? Like, do you get the pre-show jitters? Are you cool as a cucumber? Are you just like able to just go through flawlessly?
Yeah. So, and also what you mentioned, previously too, it is crazy that we're going to be playing in the same building and same spaces that we've seen bands play at. It's insane. Personally, I do get the pre-show jitters. I found if I do a couple shows in a row, it gets much better. And then for me personally, once I get through the first song, it's, I calm down a lot.
100%.
But yeah, I personally get a lot of pre-show jitters.
For sure. I feel the same exact way. It's like, man, it's not like till the set's over, like, are pretty much done that I'm feeling better. I used to puke before every show, like literally puke before every show. Yeah. So I fucking get that. I feel you on that. Go ahead.
And to me too, it's also crazy how quick a set goes.
You like black it out. Almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I am.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I get a little bit of jitters leading up to, but the day of or the time of, like once I sit down behind the set, and like as we're about to jump in, it just goes. It's gone. Like I also feel the same way about public speaking. I do a lot of presentations in my other life. And I'll just like hit slide 1 and go. And then I'm on the other side and I'm walking out of the room like, damn, that was nice. Like there's no concept of what may or may not have happened in between. Just like hopefully a few happy memories. When I get to like, Nolan or Levi turns around and sees me like screwing around back there.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like that happens, one, because it's like something you love and something you care about so much, right? That like you want it to be perfect. You get a little bit of adrenaline. Obviously there's the crowd going in there, but like the happiest days of your life, you black them out. My wedding, me and my wife both said, like literally after, like, do you remember the ceremony? Like what just happened? And it's just, it's scary, of course, but I think it's mostly scary because it's just such a fucking good feeling and a rush. So I'm glad to hear that, and I think it also just goes to show how much you guys care about what you're doing when you're doing it, like even with like your other life, the presentations, it's like, it shows how much Bongo Goldman like really puts in, to their passion. So yeah, cheers to y'all on that. Papa Levi.
Well, I'd say these days I sort of get a good anxious before the show.
Yeah, yeah.
You and I have played shows before, so my anxious was not always good before shows, but
We share a toilet bowl, you and me together. We just,
yeah,
you
it's exactly. So it's definitely improved for my day job as well. I also give presentations, so I think that's helped me a lot in the past year and a half.
yeah,
Sort of deal with those nerves.
yeah. And now you're also taking on vocals. How does it feel to be doing vocals and guitar at the same time? It like, I've seen some live footage from the other shows. You can hear it some in the album. How does it feel like? Because I like when I first started playing music, I played in like pop punk and ska bands. It was guitar and singing, and after a while, I'm like, I can't fucking do this at the same time. Hire Ryan. I'll pay him everything I got. No, let him do that. So how has the experience been so far on your end?
Well, I think I'm getting better each time I do it. It's still rough, but I also only do really simple backup vocals, so that's good for now. I like to think I'll improve as time goes on.
Well,
So.
it adds to it for sure.
Thank you.
Just putting that out there. Yeah.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. Now, so we're talking about shows. We're going to bring this up once again so everybody at home can see, everybody watching on, Twitch can, just get the info if they don't have it yet. I'm going to pull it up right now in our old Resmactions here. Just give me a second because I'm 30, but like to have the brain of an 80-year-old. Stay away from drugs, kids. That's all I'm going to say. It's a good idea. Yeah. So together again at last. That's the show. Keep flying and don't panic. May 26th. Empire Underground over in Albany, New York. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic show. Is this the only place that people can get tickets? Where can let us know, folks? The Bongo. What are you guys thinking? Is there any other links or anything like that? Are y'all selling tickets?
Yeah, if you don't want to pay Ticketmaster fees, DM us. We were given a section of tickets that we would happily send your way.
Perfect.
For sale. Tickets to the show, not yet used.
All right.
We'll hand deliver them.
I mean, hell yeah, that's the way. And speaking of, just places to follow y'all, I'm just going to pull this up real quick. Speaking of DMing, everybody watching on the old Twitch feed right now, I'm going to pull it up. Please go follow Bongo Goldman everywhere, but on Instagram, hit them up there for tickets if you're looking for them. I'm going to post the link right now to their Instagram right there in the chat for you so y'all can, get in touch with them. Please give them a follow if you haven't already. But that's not the only place you got to follow them, people. Follow them over on Spotify. I'm going to pull up y'all's link tree if you don't mind. I mean,
Go for it.
yeah. We're here. So yeah, we got everything here, including their Bandcamp, everything like that. Check them out on Spotify right here. Hey, don't give me a notification there. We're podcasting, computer. Why are you giving me issues? Anyway, after all, why shouldn't I? Go give them a follow. Go give them a like over there. Do not forget, Apple Music is also very valuable as well. But remember the most important, and so y'all, look at me directly in my gorgeous eyeballs right now. Remember the best place that you can help bands at all. Donate to their tours, get their merch, donate to them directly and give them a better profit than Spotify and Apple does and give them more of a percentage. Go check them out. Please, for the love of fuck, go check them out over on Bandcamp. Please, there are Bandcamp Fridays. There are so many ways to help these bands out and just give them the moolah and your support. Go download the album. You get to keep it. Please. Sorry to go on a rant there, y'all. It just happens. I go off about that every chance I get because it's just such a great way to help bands. Now, we're getting, getting towards the end of the show. I just want to thank you, Bongo Goldman, for being some of the best guests we've had. It is great. Thank you for kicking off the Root Canal Records routine checkup with us again. It's been a fantastic show. But real quick, I forgot a show question. What is your favorite beverage of choice before a set?
Before a set. We got these Polar seltzer, specifically the strawberry watermelon flavor. Polar, if you're out there and you're listening, hit your boys up.
Please
because-
sponsor us.
Oh my gosh.
There
Yeah. Honestly, like before a set, I'm a water guy. Seltzer water, flat water. After the set, I'll use my drink ticket.
There you go. There you go.
I might open a tab if there's a bar. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm also a water guy. Sometimes one domestic light beer before I go on stage.
There you go.
Yeah, just one. Trust me, we have a couple hidden recordings from the garage days where I had more than one domestic light beer and it didn't sound very good.
I've been there. I've definitely, back when I used to drink a lot more, like it was like my high school band. We played like a house show, and I didn't know my limits. I had like fucking 7 beers beforehand, and all my friends had to tell me after, like, dude, I couldn't distinguish a single lyric, and I'm like, so yeah, good to hear. And good to hear that it's a seltzer supporting, band here. It's very always good to see. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything. I mean, I think it's about time. We got the 10 viewers in the chat, which, by the way, everybody in the chat, if you got the time, please follow us over on Twitch, follow us over on Instagram. It really helps us on TikTok, wherever you can find Kicking Teeth, Spotify, all of that helps us do more of these incredible things, interview more incredible bands, get to hang out, do stuff like this. Eventually, I want to have Bongo back on. Not even just for a podcast. We have a couple different podcasts where we can talk about more stuff, but I want to have them on for some of the gaming streams as well, do some special events, some goofy stuff like that, because we're all just a bunch of goofballs. But now is the time, chat. It's about the end of the show. So if there are any questions from our subs, our followers, anybody in there, throw them in the chat now. I see y'all watching like the hawk that I am and the bird's nest of hair that's going on. So yeah, let's get those questions popping off. We're going to hang out here. And while we do that, we're going to listen to a little song by Bongo Goldman there. And fellas, which song do you think we should play for the folks while they're asking their questions? Y'all got 4 minutes.
California 11.
You want to throw California?
Let's give him a little California love.
All right.
Let's show him the favorite child.
All right, everybody. Hey, remember, always support your favorite child more. Don't show the rest of them love. Just do it. If we're showing you anything here, favorites are important. All right, everybody. This is California 11. We're going to let the chat go, ask some questions in there for the playthrough of the song. So, yeah. And we're just going to sit here and look awkward on the stream and, maybe wink at you, maybe smile and just hang. So, yeah. And then we'll get to your questions right at the end. This is California 11 by Bongo Goldman.
When she walked in, I knew she was trouble. She ordered up a shot, she said, make it double. Long black hair and black mascara. When I looked in her eyes, I knew she was special. Should I go back? Should I go back? It's the end of the road. It's the end of the road. Feel the walls closing in, feel the breath leave my lungs. Feel the breath leave my lungs. Back at her place, I should have known. Burning eyes strip me to the bone. Walk in the living room, what do I see? Silent destiny loudly calling me. Should I go back? Should I go back? It's the end of the road. It's the end of the road. Feel the walls closing in. Feel the breath leave my lungs. Feel the breath leave my lungs.
And we're back. Don't worry, a song's just gonna start blasting in my ears before I have the time to stop it because I'm not professional. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be so oh, it didn't. Incredible. Y'all, we've got a couple questions here. The first one being from Tragus Piercing. MILFs? Hang on. Yeah. Once again, MILFs. How would y'all respond?
I mean, that's a great general
Gosh,
question.
man, what a question.
I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios they could be in.
There's also DILFs, there's GILFs, there's just so many ILFs, right?
So many.
They exist. I'm gonna make a bold statement on the internet right now.
I'm pulling you on the full cam.
Goldman,
Yeah, hang on. We're gonna pull up your full
Goldman
face.
on the record right now will not deny the existence of MILFs. They exist.
That is a profound statement, groundbreaking from Bongo Goldman right there. Thank you for
This
entertaining.
is the express opinion of the entire band.
Yes.
On legal record, that MILFs exist.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Hot button issue right there. Controversial, I would say. Next up from Nitrous Hall. Who are your favorite niche or, in your opinion, underappreciated bands / musicians? Of course, not including yourselves.
Nitrous, thanks so much for that question. I love this question. I think everybody in this band does, and we're all very eager to answer it. I could probably give you a list that would last about a day and a half, but the first one that comes to mind for me is a band called Into Eternity. They're like melodic death metal, I guess, out of Canada, and they've been in the game a long time, probably since '95. And I gotta say, their guitarist Tim Roth, look him up. He is an amazing guitarist, very underrated, I feel, especially on the song called Severe Emotional Distress. Has one of my favorite guitar solos of all time. So look him up, Into Eternity.
Okay.
I've got two just for underappreciation. My first one, I'm actually repping them. The hat I'm wearing right now is a band called Harbor. They're out of Cincinnati. They just play some groovy stuff. They bring some great energy to a live show. I had literally not heard of them until I saw them live, and I was like, instant classic, instant favorite. Big appreciator of them. Another underappreciated group is Rollo Tomasi. They're kind of a little bit niche, a little more on the math core, Nintendo core side. They've really matured into this really eccentric, interesting, and intense band that they just don't get nearly enough love as I think they deserve.
Yeah, shout out Rollo.
Papa Levi, any niche or underappreciated bands? The questions keep on rolling in, folks. So this podcast is going to go on longer than expected, y'all, and that's what we love. So thank you all in the chat for popping off. And hey, yeah, Bongo, thank you for sticking around. Do you guys have the time to stick around? I'm just checking in. Everybody good? No one has bedtimes. Mine's usually 8. If I try and, get anything from the top shelf without my wife giving me uppies to get them, my bedtime's earlier. I get in trouble. So, yeah, thank you all for sticking around. Papa Levi.
I mean, they're not a small band, but I'd be remiss to mention Tiger's Jaw also as an
Fantastic.
influence. I forgot to mention them earlier, but
Yeah.
I don't have any that really come to mind at the moment, unfortunately.
You're good.
I do listen to a lot on my Discover Weekly.
Tiger's Jaw is a good one.
Yeah.
For sure. Any local bands, or I'm just gonna have my own question. Any local bands y'all are fans of or would love to get on a bill with, play with? I know you have this massive show coming up, but part of that is getting also local venues too, as well as more garage shows, basement shows. Any local bands that you've been hot on or appreciate?
Oh, one of my friends plays in this metal band called Anomalous. I'd really like to play with them at some point, even though they're not really the same genre.
Yep, hell yeah.
I've seen them once and they put on a good show.
the best bills are the ones that don't just stick to one genre, in my opinion. You know, I like seeing
Exactly.
That's why I missed the AP tours back in the day, because they always used to have like fucking, it was August Burns Red, Polar Bear Club, Bring Me the Horizon, and Amarosa. Like, what the hell? But I miss shit like that. So hell yeah, let's get that show together right now. Let's book that. Next up, Matt.
Oh, as far as like local, similarly, I've got a friend of mine who sent me over their metal band, Dialith,
Okay.
somewhat recently. They're on the like blacker side, but still they're so fun to hang out with as people. Um, that like surely the show would be a blast, even though it's like that meme of the like rainbow, pastel goth and like
Yep.
the black shades goth, like sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the nicest people you're ever gonna meet are usually in metal and punk. Just gonna say that right there, you know. So yeah, hell yeah. Nolan.
Yeah. So, what would be cool to share a bill with this guy, or anyone in the local area, go and attend his shows. His name's Rich Ortiz, and he's from upstate, up kind of where we went to school and stuff, Scroon Lake area, and he's wild. He's a solo act, um, but has an acoustic guitar, but he also has like a large it almost looks like a keyboard, but he plays it with his feet and he loops with it and he plays bass guitar with his feet while he plays acoustic and sings. The dude is an alien. I mean, he's crazy good. Really nice guy too. And he does mostly covers, but he has originals too. Does wedding gigs and stuff like that. So yeah, Rich Ortiz.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, well, everybody, go make sure if you haven't checked out any of these bands, go check them out. You know, we'll try and get the links later at a different time. We'll post them on another podcast and stuff like that. All right, next up we have from Papa Alvarez, your favorite memory as a band.
I
Oh,
wonder if
no.
we're all gonna have the same one.
I don't know. Because there's so many. I feel like we've settled on a couple of in jokes.
I think the show that we played at your old college house, I think that was
that came with a lot of memories. Yeah, that was good. So the house that I lived in college after I graduated, I had set up my drums in the basement, and a couple of the other people in the house played music, and we had practiced there when I was still attending college. But the year after I graduated, they said, "Hey, we're gonna throw a house party. We want bands. Would your band come in and play?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure. Like, it's gonna be like a college party, whatever." It was like a Project X like house show party. Like, it was packed wall to wall. Like, everybody came through. They were just like, it was like that $5 at the door, but there were so many people that one of my old roommates was just like hammered standing by the door with his hand out, and people are just giving him money, like sort of like you couldn't get up and down the stairs in and out of the basement, so packed. And it was just a chaotic and fun time. And I think that was really the genesis of Bongo Goldman as they are today, is like the preparation for that show and actually going to that show.
I think
Oh, go ahead,
Oh.
Levi.
sorry, that was where I first started to realize that I was getting old because all the college kids were paying with Venmo at the door instead of fives, like when we were in college.
Oh, that really, I'm like, listen, I'm one of those people that doesn't be like, oh, we're like, and I made jokes about it, like, 30 really isn't that old, but at the same time, 30 is the new 80. So, you know, it's a whole, yeah, that would have hurt me to see.
Yeah.
Nolan, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the same memory. We were talking right before the show started. It was us and three other bands playing, and we were all chatting like, imagine if 50 people showed up to this house, how stoked we would be. And we were like talking and talking. And literally by the end of the night, there was close to 200 people in and out of that house. And we were standing like in the living room and we were like looking at each other like, what have we done? I mean, dear Lord, I didn't think there would be this many people. And it was also really cool because somebody basically got up to try to do a quick crowd surf and they ripped the part of the water pipe. Not, they didn't break it, but they pulled it out of the bracket. So it was like sagging. And then there was one time Levi was trying to go down the stairs and there was like a little gap and a kind of like a little window that went to the down to the basement, and a pack of college kids was running down the stairs and almost trampled Levi, and he had to jump off the stairs down into the basement.
Like in slow mo, cracked both legs before the show, like both kneecaps
it was
You
just.
wild.
thinking what I'm
Go.
thinking, partner? Like
Ye-
there goes my
Aim
hero.
for the bushes.
Yeah, into the bushes.
Oh my, that's incredible. And like, honestly, what a memory to have. I mean, you can put like, listen, y'all are gonna go on to play bigger and just crazier shows, and I think that the venues are just gonna get more packed. You'll eventually be playing 1,000 caps and all of that. But I think one of the coolest things to have is that memory, because there's nothing better than a fucking packed house show. I think we can all dream of playing these big fests and stage, right? Since we were kids, but the energy just of having a crowded, sweaty basement, there's nothing like that. So
Oh, absolutely. You can like romanticize the huge festival and like the headlining tours, but I don't know if maybe I'm just weird like this, but nothing really gets me going like seeing the Dillinger Escape Plan play in someone's fucking living room in 2008,
that's
like camcorder footage, like
they're like barely, the furniture's barely moved to fit the bands. There's holes in the
Yeah.
wall being kicked in. Like you said, the fucking water pipe is being ripped out of the goddamn bracket. Levi, just finally being cut down at the spelling bee king, falling off the stairs. It's not like y'all paid the kids to push him off or anything. That rivalry, that spite is still there.
get the old man.
Yeah.
I live.
Get him.
This
Uh,
time.
Yeah. Oh man, we still got a couple more before we leave for tonight, y'all. Next up, again from Tragus Piercing, if you could master any other instrument than the one you currently play, what instrument would it be?
I used to have some keyboarding skills. It taught me theory. I have promptly forgotten all of it. I would love to get back to like being more of a keyboardist, more like academically focused musically, because I also really liked producing my own stuff. It was all absolutely garbage, but I used to do like electronic stuff on the side and just fiddle around on a keyboard. So if I could like remaster the keyboard piano, I would love that.
I see where the Enter Shikari influence comes in very hard now. I think we're gonna have to get a keyboard and a synth pad and everything set up next to the drum kit at Bongo shows, and just
I would. Hey, also Roland. If Roland is out there and they're looking to have an enterprising, 30, just about 30-year-old drummer to get one of those 9x9 pads, sample pads, hit your boy up.
help the man out. Roland, Kicking Teeth has nothing to do. We don't want any sponsorships from anybody but Bongo Goldman. No, yeah.
Yeah, I
perfect.
will. I will be a featured artist. Yeah.
Hey, that's the dream. All right. Next up, Nolan, I see you hot on there.
As usual, probably the drums. Actually, I know.
They're downstairs, boss. You just hit them up anytime.
I do, and you hear the same 3 beats from me for 30 minutes straight. Yeah. I just like watching drummers and see how much fun they have. Honestly, like one of my favorite bands to watch with a drummers is the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
I really like the fact they have 2 drummers. One of them is mainly percussion, the other's the actual drummer, but just watch them go back and forth. It's like that would be something I would like to do as well.
For sure. Hell yeah. And like, you know, on top of that, just like, you know, I think with y'all being like different writers and like knowing you have such a prominent point in the writing, like just adding drums to that is just another thing that helps like round out the craft. And, you know,
Yeah, and it could help. It would help me too, to be honest.
yeah.
It really would.
Listen, I mean, I am like so just not proficient at drums, understanding of drums, how to write anything on drums. So I'm the type of guy that like I would probably benefit from that a lot. So yeah, if you're taking drum lessons, hit me up because we'll meet up and start doing them together.
Yeah.
Paradiddle, paradiddle.
We'll supplant Matt as the drummer.
There you go.
He's
Listen,
going down, folks.
there's a lot of usurping in this band, and I just love the gosh dang like political intrigue and the family conflicts here.
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of family, Papa Levi, an instrument that you would like to master that isn't the guitar.
Well, Harv, I would say piano would be something that would help me. But what I really want to learn is how to play the banjo because I own one and I don't know how to play anything on it. And it haunts me. It sits in my closet and it haunts me. And I want to be good at playing it.
I mean,
It'll happen someday, but it's not happening now.
listen, the new album's
So-
not out yet. I mean, the next stuff isn't out. There could be some banjo on there, more like, we could call you Banjo Goldman instead. Maybe we could get on some of that.
Maybe. I think the banjo's more for me than anyone else. So
I did it for
I might
me.
keep that to myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, perfect. I think we have. Oh, and it's just the perfect question to end on from Nitrous Hail: jorts or Crocs with socks?
Easy. Crocs with socks. I'm a big Crocs with socks guy. I used to daily driver Crocs. Crocs makes more than just. I'm gonna derail. Crocs makes more than just the clog, the synthetic material clog. They make various different types of shoes. You get your Croots. You can get your slides. Okay. The Crocs are so versatile and such a good shoe for both utility, comfort, like Crocs with socks all day, every day. I will Crocs, if you're listening right now, hit your boy up.
I had to full screen you there just for the, I really like just the Matt grandstands here that have been going on. One for the endorsements, but also just for the defense of Crocs. Oh my, anyway, continue on. I very respect the adamant opinion there.
I like to say, why can't you have the best of both worlds and do that as your whole outfit? And I would top it off with just a vest and no shirt underneath it.
There you go.
Like I did in college. But if I had to choose between the jorts or Crocs with socks, I have to go jorts. I made many a pair of homemade jorts in my day. And they're just near and dear.
Hell yeah. Papa Levi, let's finish this thing off right.
Is neither an option?
No.
No.
And you better choose correctly.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't.
You have two band members
I
with
can't.
very heavy mics right next to you. Bad things could happen. I mean,
I can't. I can't do it.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nitrous Hall. Nitrous Hail.
Yep. All right, y'all. And I think that's been it for today. Hey, thank you to Bongo Goldman. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the Canal Wreckords Routine Checkup. Happy to have you. So excited for the success of After All, Why Shouldn't I? So excited for the big show coming up on May 26th, I believe. I just wanted to make sure I got that right. So good, I got the nods. Empire, hit them up on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, fucking Bandcamp. Hit them up everywhere. They can be found. If y'all want to support Kickin' Teeth, please give us a follow on Twitch. If you have a Slamazon Slime Slub, please, that means you got a Twitch Prime sub for free. It helps us out, helps us do more stuff, leads to our sub goals, which leads to bigger streams, bigger stuff like this. I guess one more question I want to just, before, we're literally about to be at 1 hour and 30. Gentlemen, what game would you like to play on Kickin' Teeth if you ever came back?
That is the question of the night.
Ooh.
There you go.
I have
That's a tough one.
quite a list. I'll do a couple real quick.
Bang them off. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a big Soulsborne guy. I would play any of those games. You know, with the Kick and Teeth crew. Also, Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. Love that game.
Fuck! That is you two can't answer. Nolan wins the whole thing. We plan on play. We have that like coming up as a playthrough down the road for like our Take Me Back Tuesday stream. So yeah, I might have to have you guest in on an episode or something. You know what we're doing. Oh, just what a fucking fantastic answer. Favorite Soulsborne game?
Bloodborne.
Okay, definitive. Good choice. Good dang choice. Matt.
Oh gosh. Well, you know, other than the hot ones these days, man, I've been actually thinking about going back to the Halo campaigns recently. I feel like doing a throwback, like running through Halo 2 on Legendary or something. Like, I feel like that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, you keep like spoiling Kick and Teeth series, so I'm not gonna say anything more than that. I'm not gonna say there's like a Master Chief helmet somewhere in the background. I don't know. Maybe you can see it somewhere. Maybe Omar's got a blue Cortana wig. I don't know. Maybe anyway. But no, I mean, oh, dude, Halo 2 specifically. The Grave Mine, Prophet of Truth shit. Like, let's go. Papa Levi, let's finish this thing off right. Don't say
It's hard to
RuneScape.
pick.
Don't say RuneScape.
No, I won't.
You're lucky I didn't.
Yeah, he's the king of RuneScape. You don't even want to know.
Oh, no.
I'd have to say 2005 Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Ooh.
It really is like all of y'all are just saying the perfect answer. I don't know who I like more here. You got fucking one of the greatest games of all time. You have a fucking game where you're following the goddamn Fellowship of the Lord of the Rings just in the background, the whole time. And then one of the greatest, FPSs of all time. All solid choices. Y'all, I just want to thank y'all again for being here. Thank you for doing this. It was so much fun. Cannot wait to have y'all back. And yeah, we'll get in touch more around the show. We're pretty, just so everybody knows watching at home, the podcasts are back in full swing. We're trying to do 2 to 4 a month. The guest slots have already filled up to May. So, if we have time, maybe we'll get you guys back in. But if not, we'll figure something out, at least on the game side. Once again, just want to thank all of you guys here in the band. Congratulations on the success. After All, Why Shouldn't I is incredible. I am so excited for the future news and for the bigger shows. Everybody watching over in the chat, thank you for following. Thank you for your donations over to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Thank you for your subs. And just thank you for your time. Really, I mean, the fact that any of y'all take the time to hang out here. Y'all have busy lives. Everybody has stuff going on. So thank y'all so much for just using it with us and letting us do fun stuff like this with our incredible guests and our incredible friends. And yeah, this has been another episode of the Root Canal Records review, roundup, routine, check-in. And y'all, remember, kick him in the gosh dang teeth. We're out.
Thank you, Herb.